Hey, we're live. Hello, well, live. We're recording. Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Steam Brewery. We are going to do actually a character creation, but we're going to do this randomly. Now, I've already rolled the stats because I didn't really make you guys sit through me rolling stats because that'd be boring. But I figured it'd be fun. Me and Co-host Game 2, oh my gosh, sit here and decide a race to pick by random. Since there's 9 races, I'm just going to go with one straight out of the player's handbook to keep it simple. I'm just going to roll a d10. If it's a 10, I'll just re-roll it. So here we go. The stats, if anyone's starting stats curious, 16, 10, 14, 14, 11, 12. So,
That's not bad.
it's not bad. Slightly better than, slightly better than average because I got 16, so that evens out. 9, that would be Tiefling. I'll write that down.
That's also the highest thing you can get on reincarnate. Probably should just roll on the reincarnation table. That's what we should have done.
Yeah, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 12 classes, so we're going to roll a d12.
Barbarian, please.
8.
Not barbarian.
That'd be a rogue. Tiefling rogue.
Roll a
Alrighty.
d4 to see if we're variant Tiefling.
No. Okay, so we're not going to worry about laying out sets. Now we're going to pick out our background, which if you guys have a player's handbook, you can follow along. The glossary, the glossary, the index at the front of the book is what I use to pick out the racing class because they're right there. They're all lined up. You don't have to look at the table or anything. For the backgrounds, that'll be page 125. And I'm not entirely sure how many there are, so we're just going to roll a d20.
For what?
And for determine the background, and if it goes too high, we'll just redo it.
I'm sure there's more than 20.
11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
There's definitely more than 11.
9, 10. I'm a sage. Tiefling rogue sage.
That's wonderful.
I'm gonna make it work, guys.
Yeah, we're going to make this work. I think you skipped a page.
Did I? I'm pretty sure I didn't. I'll let you count that. So we got a Tiefling rogue
That'd be
sage,
hilarious.
guys. Alrighty, we're writing it out. I'm gonna fill out my character sheet. Unfortunately, we don't have enough cameras set up on the same thing right now that we can show you both of these simultaneously. But I'll make it pretty easy. Since I'm a rogue, I don't need very high strength. I'll put my 10 in that. So
No,
that'll be the
you
worst
counted
one.
wrong.
What?
11 would be sailor,
Oh, okay.
I think.
Well, he counts that. I'm gonna do it. As the rogue tiefling, we could go with the variant one, but since that's only in the skag, we're just gonna go straight out of the player's handbook.
The Sword Coast Adventure Guide.
Sword Coast Adventure Guide. I apologize, guys. We're gonna put the highest stat index, which was a 16. 4. We got a couple more nice stats. We got 2 14s and a 12 we need to disperse. Now, this is where we decide. Do we want our character to be smart and know what he's doing, but have a lower wisdom so he makes generally worse decisions, or have a higher wisdom but not as smart so he makes better decisions?
Unfortunately, we are sailor.
We are sailor. Oh, man, unfortunately. So,
There are 13. There are 13 backgrounds, in case you're wondering.
yeah, I think you definitely want a higher charisma, because as a rogue, if you're playing, especially as a sailor, it could be a pirate. Definitely kind of want a higher charisma, so I'll put the 14 there. And since I'm a tiefling, I'll get a +2 to that, making that a 16 as well as my dex.
We
So
could just roll to randomly put the stats in.
we sure could. That leaves another 14 to put. So generally, rogues don't have a very high constitution, but
Wait. Let's get the let's get the personality traits and stuff first, because we might get lazy, and in which case we have low wisdom. Let's do this.
well, I was gonna put the 14 constitution there because
You do that, fine.
it's not gonna be very good. I want a very high constitution, and since there's an 11 and 12, I put the 12 in the wisdom, so it'll be a +1, and then I put 11 intelligence. Since I am a tiefling, I get +1 to intelligence, so that would also become a 12. So everything's a nice even number for my OCD, and I don't have to freak out and have an aneurysm because I'll have some odd numbers. While he's doing whatever he's doing, I'll go ahead and fill this out, because one day this character will see the light of day. I just don't know what that day is. So
What?
So now we fill out just step-by-step character creation. It's probably best if you have a character sheet with you. Unfortunately, guys, I won't be able to show you unless I lift it up like this. Try to get it in the camera angle nice in view. I have a custom character sheet I found on the DM's Guild. Very nice. The one I have is the one you can print it off. It'll have little tab marks on it because you can fill it out in the actual PDF itself when you first open it. And then it'll have shortcuts. You'll have to scroll down a little bit. If your laptop's like mine, it'll be a bit fidgety and you'll have to just manually click it down one thing at a time to find it. Or you can just print it out and then write everything in yourself if you're more familiar with it. If not, when you drop it down, it'll pull up the information for you on your things already. You can also just keep it digital the whole time.
I already rolled for the personality traits and all that.
Well, I was curious about the Princes. You get athletics, which is so good because we're so strong,
Yeah, I know, right?
and perception,
Because we're so wise.
because we're so wise. I'll worry about those towards the end of the video.
The personality traits and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got them. I got them in my mind.
Got them in your mind? First
That's
things
too far.
first
That's too far.
is we're going to look at the tiefling racial
Okay.
benefits.
Okay. Thought we were going right to
Thought
first.
we're not going right
we
to
hadn't
first.
gone over the tiefling yet.
Right. As a tiefling, as I noted, you get +2 charisma, +1 intelligence. They are about as long as a human, so keep that in mind when you decide how old you're going to be. You don't want to be, thinking, I live a really long time, I'm demonic. For those of you who don't know what tiefling is, tieflings are someone who have demonic blood in their bloodline, whether they...
Specifically
they're-
human.
Specifically humans. Whether their parents made a deal with the devil, or perhaps a succubus, or
Or great-great-grandparent.
or
Sometimes
one of
it's
their
skip generation.
great-great-grandparents, or, skip generations. But you look very demonic, your skin's not colored right, you have horns, you have a tail, and your skin's purple, red, sometimes white in rare occasions.
In the Sword Coast Adventure Guide, it goes into a little bit more detail. There's actually a variant appearance where you can have more demonic appearance.
But that's the variant appearance, which we're not discussing in this video.
Cloven hoofs.
Cloven. Is the problem also with this when you pick out your alignment, which kind of fits because we're a rogue, we can kind of play into this, is you generally lean towards the evil side. Because of the demonic heritage, it does run in your blood, and that whole nature versus nurture thing, this is leaning that you have a tendency to go towards evil due to your bloodline. Now, you don't have to be evil if you're a tiefling, but it should, if for role-playing purposes, be a struggle you have to deal with. For this, I'm not sure if we're going to be a pirate yet or not, so I'm going to think about that. Your medium?
They're also often chaotic.
Yes, you're often chaotic. Their base walking speed's 30 feet when you fill out your character sheet.
We should go in a little bit more detail because it says many tieflings are not inherently evil, but many end up there anyways because people perceive them as evil, and when people perceive you as a monster, eventually you can become that, which is how so many things happen. But that is a philosophical discussion for another time.
Next thing after that is your racial traits. Tieflings have dark vision. A lot of races do. It just means you can see 60 feet out to 6 feet in the dark. Generally. For certain races, it's more of certain... So, I think the only other exceptions are there are certain races that have superior dark vision. Generally, it's either no dark vision, or superior dark vision. But I think only one race is the Dark Elves play with the superior dark vision in the handbook. You also have hellish resistance. You have resistance to fire damage. For being a tiefling, your demonic heritage, though it comes with some downside, also comes with quite a bit of upside. Writing it out. And then you have your infernal legacy. This is similar to spellcasting, though you don't have to be a spellcaster if you pick this. It just gives you the innate ability to cast certain spells. For a tiefling, they learn the thaumaturgy cantrip. It lets you change the color of your eyes. You can make yourself really loud. You can make harmless tremors. You can make a hand appear behind you that just keeps going. Meh, 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 meh. You also, at third level, which for this will be level 1, but at third level you can cast Hellish Rebuke.
Once a day?
Once a day. It's at second level. It's a spell that if someone hits you, you get to hurt them with it.
To be clear,
because they
once a
hit you.
day usually means once per long rest, usually when it comes to racial features. Or
Yes, this one also specifically says long rest. And you can, at 5th level, you can cast darknesses, which you can just make a sphere of darkness. You can't see through the darkness, but you can cast darkness.
Which is pretty good.
Yes, it is.
Saved us some trouble one time against 24 bullywugs.
24 bullywogs. For those who don't know what a bullywog is, they're frog people.
That are not nice.
Yeah,
Hey,
they're
we
not
didn't
nice.
die because
Writing it. I apologize, guys.
That is a story for another time as
That,
well.
that is a story for another time. We could just have just a whole video about stories from D&D. As we've been playing for almost 2 years now.
I don't know.
We've been playing for a while. Not as long as a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I would like to consider us professionals because we watch so much Critical Role.
I'm sorry, guys. There's just times I have no words for what was said to me.
I know.
And then common and infernal.
You over the fire resistance? Tieflings have resistance to fire damage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Infernal is the language of devils. In D&D, there are devils and demons. Infernal is the language of devils specifically.
Although it is the script. It is a script in Abyssal.
Yes, Abyssal is the language of demons. Devils are more of the, just for a quick lore thing, devils are more of the, they're going to come out, they're going to make deals with people, they're going to get something from humans.
The Nine Hells.
Yeah, the Nine Hells. They're going to make contracts with you. They're not going to hurt you immediately, but down the road, the deal
Typical
doesn't...
Mephistopheles kind of thing.
Yeah, the deal
Ghost
doesn't end up in
Rider.
your favor. Whereas demons are like, I'm going to show up. I'm going to hurt people. I'm going to take what I want until someone stops me.
They're siege. They're war machines. Is what demons essentially are.
Yeah. They're...
Which normally they can be. They can be summoned
Really
and contract in deals just like devils, but usually they're like, oh, stuff, kill. Okay.
Mhm.
They're what is it? Diablo 3, kill stuff, take loot.
So before we pick out actually our class proficiency, we should probably pick out, we are a sailor.
Yes.
Do we want to pick out, since we're a tiefling, they tend to lead toward chaotic and sometimes evil.
Already rolled for the bond.
Which was?
Lawful.
So not pirates. There we go, guys. We're
We could be
normal sailors.
chaotic, lawful, evil, good, Joker. I'm just kidding.
So we're normal sailors. So that should determine our skill proficiency. We're not going to flesh out too much of background for this. We'll go with simple sailor.
Oh, we
Go.
could make a background for that.
We could. You know. Sailors generally...
If you want us to go into more detail and background, like, comment. Just don't actually have to like, just comment and tell us.
Yes.
But if you want to like.
Yes, you know sailors. Generally, if you're a good working hand, at least back in the day, medieval ages.
Unfortunately, did not roll the flaw of I'm lazy.
Yeah. If they may not like you at first. Of course, that's still with modern days. But if you proved, you did the job right, you didn't make people angry, you'd generally be good on board and good pay, money. You will get your work cut out for you. So that'd be a good place for someone who, as a tiefling, just if you go into society in the world of Faerun, which is where most D&D is based out of in 5e, people don't like you. Most people actually think you're a demon or devil and are very superstitious. Sailors don't always have that superstition, so it'd be a good place for you to go. So we're going to be, like
Or some sailors are superstitious and be like, people don't want to mess with devils.
Some people are.
Even nature fears even nature fears.
So we're just going to start at the top of class features and work our way down. Our hit points is, at level 1 is 8 plus our constitution of 2, so we'll have 10.
Not bad.
Woo! Rogues, man.
That is the average hit dice, D8.
Yes, it is. We're proficient with light armor. That's the only armor we get. We're proficient with simple weapons and then hand crossbows, long swords, rapier, short swords. Don't really need to go into too much on the weapons. If you don't know if you're just curious about the physical weapons, I think they might have pictures of some of them in the actual weapon section. If not, you can easily look them up online. I know plenty of history. If you just want to know things about those, I'm certain I could type them up in the comments. I don't know what Coors Liquor number 2 is doing at this moment in time.
I'm gonna look at bards.
The next thing is your provision in thieves' tools for being a rogue. Now, that doesn't mean you have to have them. Generally, rogues come with them, though, because, someone needs to pick the locks and disarm the traps. I guess I'm a sailor.
It's, yeah. Maybe you have a side business as a sailor. But again, that's a background thing that if you want us to do, actually go into detail.
Your captain kept locking himself out of his office.
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
That's what I was totally going to go with.
Next thing, your saving throws for those in this game Your ability to resist things on a certain level. Ours is dexterity intelligence, which means our mind is hard to mess with when it comes to actually making us dumber.
Or certain effects. Phantasmal
certain
killer.
effects. Things like illusions aren't very good against you. Your brain is naturally trained against them. And supposedly, if you're for proficiency, and then your dexterous, you're good at dodging things like lightning or fire.
Or traps. Specifically,
traps.
the main thing is traps.
Yep.
For rogue. Usually it's traps.
And then we choose 4 skills from acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, performance, persuasion, sleight of hand, and stealth. So we're a sailor.
Athletics, probably.
We were a lawful sailor.
Lawful sailor.
So
That's your alignment now. There can be a whole sort of reason that you
we come with perception and athletics. Yeah, that's the alignment now. You could always be the thief looking for redemption. I'm going to go with stealth because, if you get attacked by pirates, sometimes your best option isn't fighting them immediately. It's hiding and waiting for a chance to strike from the shadows.
One by one, killing each of them in their sleep. Shut up, nerd.
And then you just have to choose as the rogue, do you want to be good at finding things? In which case, investigation's probably a good one to have. That's your ability to find things, find traps. I'm going to go with
compartments.
That. Yeah, hidden compartments.
Trapdoors,
stuff like that. Sleight of hand, your ability to pickpocket someone or hide something on your person that doesn't get noticed.
or like the old cup trick where you just have like a ball going in between 3 cups and just making people see where it doesn't go.
I'm going to pick persuasion. As a tiefling, you generally need to be very good at getting people to like you, or at the very least not try to kill you.
Which
with that.
happens.
Along that same line, intimidation goes with that, so I'm going to go with that. Miss Tiefling, rough life. Gotta keep people off your back. Sometimes the best way to do that, being scary,
is embracing your demonic inheritance.
Embracing your demonic inheritance.
Is that all 4?
Yes, that's all 4. So we have 6 proficiencies because we're not humans. Next thing is equipment. You can either start with a rapier or short sword. As a sailor, I know pirates had...
Short swords are usually preferred.
Yeah.
Because you need to actually cut. You can't, ropes on the sails.
Stab, rapiers for those...
Which, a short sword is technically piercing, but you can cut with a short sword.
Rapier is an old Renaissance weapon. It stabs short swords. Though in this game, can stab are generally, in real life, generally meant to slash and stab.
Yeah. Cutting, slashing. Like you can cut ropes.
So we're going to go with the short sword for that.
Grappling hooks from opposing ships that are trying to board you. A line may get caught. You have to cut it.
Equipment section here.
Sometimes you just don't want to. Sometimes you're trying to tie a knot and you get upset. And you just want to cut the rope because you're angry at it.
The next thing is a short bow and 20 arrows or a short sword. Being on a boat, you do want the ability to not have to. If they're like pirates, they don't have guns, but they will have in this current world. But they do have bows, so they'll try to fire arrows at you. You will be able to fire arrows back.
They are working on guns.
They are working on guns, and some people have already custom made guns for their world, but for us, we're just going to go with we haven't. So I'm just going to get a short bow and 20 arrows. The next thing, you have a burglar's pack, a dungeoneer's pack, or an explorer's pack. Well, we're not a thief, so a burglar's pack doesn't make sense. We're not exploring dungeons, we're a sailor. So that kind of leaves explorer's pack, which makes sense. You're traveling, you're sailing, whether you determine what kind of business, merchant ship.
Although there's one thing I do want to point out while we're doing this. Depending on your DM, the player's handbook, unless you're playing it eventually, the player's handbook, class rules, class features, it is all suggestions and guidelines. If you want to discuss with your DM certain proficiencies that you like as your background, or even your starting equipment that might change, like the Explorer's Pack might be some sailing equipment that you would have, which you start with some for being a sailor, but you could have navigator's tools as a proficiency, perhaps, for being a sailor, and those kind of things, which I think you also get. But you could start with those kind of things in your pack, discussing it with your DM, giving them a good reason and a story reason as to why you would have X, Y, and Z versus A, B, C.
Then the remaining equipment are leather, armor, 2 daggers, and thieves' tools. Daggers, nice, simple, easy. You can pull them out, you can stab if you need to, just in case. You can also throw them because they're pretty light. You got your thieves' tools, and you got just basic leather armor. For your details in your equipment, you're going to want to go to the equipment section. We're not going to go into too much detail on that. No. But we do have some cool class abilities, which I do have the class features page. We have expertise for those...
Most broken thing is that for a fighter.
in this system, proficiency is you're good at it. You can add your ability modifier and your skill proficiency, which just means you have a proficiency bonus based off your level. Level 1 is +2. So say if we had intimidation, our charisma is a +3 because it's a 16. Proficiency of 2, that makes it a +5 total. I don't know, but I know we can blend them. So where we ended, expertise was essentially you can double your proficiency bonus. So if we took expertise in, say, persuasion, instead of getting +5 like we normally would, we get to double our proficiency bonus of 2, making it +4 total. So 4 + 3 makes 7. So we'd be really good at persuading people. As a rogue, you get to pick 2 at level 1. I'm going to pick persuasion as one of them. Because, obviously, as I said, as a tiefling, you don't want people to be messing with you. I'm not sure what the other one should be. What do you think of lucky number 2? Well, welcome back. That paused again. We don't know why, but we decided the other one should probably be perception. We're a sailor, so it can be like the little guy at the top of the ship. I'm sorry, I don't know sailor terms. The lookout guy spots the ships.
Guy in the crow's nest.
Yeah, the guy. I know what the crow's nest is called, but I don't know what his position is called. So we're gonna go with expertise.
I don't know.
Perception and persuasion, so we're going to be really good at those. The next thing you get is sneak attack. This is a rogue's ability to keep up with damage with others. As long as you're able to meet certain requirements, you get extra damage. At level 1, it's an extra d6. It goes up every 2 levels after level 1, so 1, 3, 5. I'm just going to write read book. There's a lot of rules, but generally, if you have advantage on a roll, and you're using a finesse weapon or a ranged weapon, you'll get sneak attack. If you have an ally within 5 feet, you don't need advantage. You can still get it as long as you don't have disadvantage.
Correct.
For those of you who don't know, advantage and disadvantage in the world of D&D is it's a D20 system. You have a little D20 sided die. For normal rolls, you just roll once. For advantage, you roll twice and take the higher. Disadvantage, you roll twice and take the lower number. Is what that is. Yes. And then thieves can't. There's a lot to it. The simplest version of it is you know how to talk to other thieves in a way that no one else can understand. It's just basically code that is not decipherable unless you know it, or perhaps someone has some magic. And even then, written in Thieves' Cant, a message, it's basically a cipher in either plain words or writing. It takes 4 times as long to convey the message, so if you're in a time crunch, Thieves' Cant's not very good. But if you're going somewhere and you need to see if there's some potential business around, or if you should stay away from a certain area, Thieves' Cant can help you out with that. I'm just going to write secret language. And then, since that's all the level 1 rogue things, you don't have to worry about any more level 1 rogue things. We're just going to go to the sailor background. And they also get some equipment. They have and proficiencies. You are proficient with navigator's tools and water vehicles. So you should be fairly capable of not getting lost at sea, but it can happen even to the best of people, say during storms. You have a belaying pin, which is a club as far as weapons go. You have 50 feet of silk rope. You have, I don't know why I'm saying you, I'm the one building this character, a lucky charm such as a rabbit foot or a small stone. I'm going to write lucky rabbit foot because I'm always a big fan of that. A stone with a hole in the center. You may roll for a random trinket on the trinket table. Okay, you can also roll on the trinket table in the book. In chapter 5 was where I'm reading out of this side of the book right now. Instead for your lucky charm, and you get a set of common clothes and 10 gold, which is nice to start out with. It's a nice little some starting change money. You get a background feature called Ship's Passage, which is what we'll have. Since we're not a pirate, that won't need to be changed, though I don't... Yes, pirates do have a different one. Pirates, when you need to, you can secure free... Not pirates, sailors. You can secure free passage on a sailing ship for yourself and your adventuring companions. You might sail on the ship you served on or another ship you have good relationships, perhaps one captain by a former crewmate. Because you're calling in a favor, you can't be certain of a schedule or route that will meet your every need, but you'll get it. Your dungeon master will determine how long it takes to get where you need to go. In return for your passage, though, free passage, you and your companions are expected to assist the crew during the voyage. So since you're a sailor, you're expected to help them on the sail, perhaps take up that crow's nest spot, or man the sails. The only other sailor phrase I know is swap the deck, but I think that's cleaning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes I just need someone to clean because no one likes cleaning. Swab the poop deck. No one likes to clean. Co-host Lucky number 2 rolled. I'm going to roll for these.
Oh, but come on. I rolled good ones.
I'll let you pick. You rolled the ideal, correct?
I rolled all of them.
Oh, well. Sure, we'll go with co-host number 2 because I feel like he did
7.
something.
My language is as foul as an Otyugh nest. Which, for those of you who don't know what an Otyugh is, Otyughs are essentially trash pits. They eat
like this.
anything they can get their hands on. And they're like the vultures of the world, except they eat living things, too. They're horrible, horrifying creatures.
Essentially, that real world phrase,
Like a sailor's mouth.
like a sailor's mouth, is what my character has.
Or something like that.
That's going to be awkward for me whenever I do eventually play this character, because I generally try to avoid that. So
You can just say foul words. They don't have to be cuss words.
it's a good point.
Just make words up. They'll never know.
So that'll
you
be
flaggernuggers.
fun for me, guys.
Little
What's
fogey.
the ideal? It was lawful.
It was fairness.
Fairness.
We all do the work, so we all share in the rewards.
Man, I wish that was how it was in real life.
I know, right?
Right? We all.
People are gonna comment that we're socialist.
I mean, they can, but
Go Bernie.
this is more. This is more. I don't like working. Like, I don't work at where we work. We don't get tips, but there are places where people work and then they have tips, but everyone shares the tips.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever. Yeah.
Like, it's a good idea, but when you're like the waitress and you take their or waiter, or when you take the orders, you're the one with them, and then you have to come back. The cook's not working on their food. You have to keep telling them. They wait 20 minutes. You have to go back and tell the cook, and then the cook gets half those tips. And even though they were not right on the job doing the things, but that's not related to D&D. I apologize. I'm ranting like I normally do. Onward. That was a weird voice.
Yeah. Number 6. Ruthless pirates murdered my captain and crewmates, plundered our ship, and left me to die. Vengeance will be mine.
Guys, I guess we formed the background real fast. Guys, I know why we're proficient with those thieves' tools is because we're breaking into things to find clues.
Remember what I said about killing them all in sleep? Make a great assassin.
What's the flaw?
My pride will probably lead to my destruction. Number 6.
I'm gonna have so much trouble.
If it hadn't
role-playing
stayed,
this
I
character.
fell out of the box, or else the number 1 would have been I follow orders, even if I think they're wrong. Would have been the first one.
From the dead crew.
Yeah, that would have made sense. But it fell out, which whenever we roll in a box or anything, we only take if it's in the box. In the box.
I'm gonna have to make this an NPC because, man, if I had to play this as a PC every week, I would hate myself.
I'll just do it for you.
Please do.
When it comes to D&D, I don't mind cussing when it's like in character.
Cussing's not the problem, but like foul language and like super pridefulness.
Oh, look at those barnacle tits.
And super vengeful.
Doesn't even make sense, but
Man.
we'll see it anyways.
Man, I'm gonna have trouble. Like 3 of those things are things I have trouble. I have trouble playing super vengeful characters. Like I have no problem being spiteful, but being vengeful is a whole other thing. Being prideful is not something I'm generally have a problem with.
That's my entire character I played for your
Generally a humble guy.
His whole thing was vengeance, the entire campaign.
Though I do say a lot of my magic decks are good. They're alright. I'll admit it. Some of them are very good, but most of them are just alright. The language. So guys, there's our tiefling sailor, who wasn't a pirate, but instead, my whole crew was murdered by pirates, and I'm out to get vengeance. So that'll be fun.
Lawful.
It's gonna be interesting. I guess I'm not out for vengeance. I'm out for justice if I'm lawful. So that's
No,
gonna
you can
be-
still want vengeance. Vengeance.
That'll be interesting.
It's like Percy said. I'm happy there's justice in it. But even if there wasn't justice in it, I'd still be here. Which, for those who don't know, Percival Frederick Ryan musical Oscar the Third, you should watch Critical Role, because that's what that is. For those of you that do, yeah.
The last things to fill out, guys, is your armor class, which is based off your armor. For leather
Numbers.
armor, it's 11 plus your dex. Your initiative modifier is simply how fast you go in combat. That is just, you roll a d20 and you add your dexterity modifier at level 1, since you don't have any other things like that to it. You just get +3 in our case. Your hit die, when you fill that out, you just have 1. It's 1 for each level you have, essentially. And the hit die is the same throughout your whole class unless you multi-class, which is a whole other thing. You have your limited features. We don't have any because we're solo level. Non-obviously, you want to fill out your attacks. Once again, it's just your strength or dexterity, depending on the weapon, plus your proficiency bonus. And then the damage is whatever the damage of the weapon is, plus your strength or dexterity modifier. So don't add your proficiency to damage, just the attack rolls. But that's all that is, other than just filling out the details on your character sheet for your putting in your skill proficiencies, your saving throws, your passive perception, just real fast, so that's a note. It is 10 plus your perception modifier. Now, if you are a bard with Jack... So as I was saying, unless you're a Jack with... you're a bard with Jack of all trades, not a Jack with bard.
Or a Jack who is a bard with Jack of all trades.
Yes. Which is a level 2 bard ability, which if they're not proficient in ability, they add half their proficiency bonus rounded down. That will not apply to passive perception, but since I'm a rogue, I'm proficient in perception, so it's 10, or your passive perception is 10, plus your perception modifier, which is wisdom plus your perception skill. In our case, proficiency, and since we have expertise, double that. So our passive perception is 15, because our wisdom modifier is a +1.
Yeah.
Which is not bad for a level 1 character. So there's kind of all the important things. I might be missing a few things. I'm just going to look it over super fast. But I don't believe I am. But yeah, that should be everything you guys need to make a level 1 character. Show up to a game and be ready to play. Hopefully this was entertaining. We're going to have some more things coming out hopefully soon, as our finals is coming to an end. So that'll be, not to an end, our finals is up in about 2-3 weeks when we record this, so we'll see how that goes. So that should be plenty of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully the quality and audio are nice and good. But yeah, so that's our randomly generated Tiefling Rogue Sailor out for justice against the pirates. Well,
Yeah.
that was sort of fun to do. For a second, I thought we were going to be a Sage Rogue, which I was going to have a lot of fun trying to figure out how that was going to work. But now I don't have to. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Whichever kind of video it is we do, you guys can influence that. If you like, leave a comment, subscribe, send us a message somewhere on our Twitter, @PearsonsBlog, our email, pearsonsblog@yahoo.com. Of course, here on YouTube, or you can find my articles and probably message me there. So hopefully this is finally done. Hopefully you got that for your passive perceptions. It's 10 plus your perception modifier, level 1. Jack of all trades does not apply to passive perception. Just heads up for bards at level 2. But that was our randomly generated character. If you'd like to know, perhaps, when we do play this character, what happens with this character,
Look what technically it does.
you can
Because it adds to your perception modifier.
comment, subscribe. You can message us on Twitter @PearsonsBlog, email us, pearsonsblog@yahoo.com. You can find my articles and probably message me or someone on there on cardconfidants.com. Whenever I do actually get around to writing articles.
Time for that.
Yeah, time is hard for life. Life sucks when it comes to time management. So that's fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I had a sort of blast until we got to the personality traits. And realize that when I roleplay this character, I'm going to have a lot of difficulty roleplaying this character because it's things I generally try to avoid doing. So that's going to be fun. We'll see you guys in the next video. You guys can influence what that is by leaving comments and messaging us, telling us more of what you want to see. It might be more character creation, a bit more in-depth background creation, or when we do get to it, more. Yeah, if you want more of those adventure things, and perhaps even crafting custom magical items if you guys would be interested in those.
Hey.
Hey.
I do that a lot.
We'll see you guys in the next video, and as always, have a good day.
Wait.